Hey, good morning. This is John from Uplift Trade. I hope you are doing really well. As far as I'm concerned, I am. Today is Wednesday, September the 3rd. It's a little bit over 8 a.m. in Europe. And the way I look at Bitcoin's price action for today's day trading is the following. So first, I'll start with the 4-hour. So the 4-hour is giving signs that a bottom may be in place. Maybe. Yeah? Why I say that is because this move since the low we had very much looks like diagonal. It doesn't look corrective. Now, the move is capped by the descending 12-period moving average on the 4-hour. And if you look at the history, or let's say if you look at the month of August, every time price has reached the 12 or the 21-day moving average, price stalled and then resumed downtrend. Yeah, and we had the same with the 12 and the 21 on the 4-hour moving average. So a word of caution here. The move since the low looks positive if you are looking at higher prices, but right now we have apparently reached a level of resistance or lack of interest to push the price high. Now what could happen next? Well, my plan is the following. I'll go to the 5 minutes and I think that's going to be my battleground for today. Since the low we made yesterday at 2:45 p.m. European time, we've got price attempt to make a new high, and then there was a low, and then there was another high attempt. That very much looks like a range information with a high at 111,771, a low at 110,200, and another high at 111,782. So we've got three extremities. And now the assumption is the following. Price appears to be going lower, and perhaps an area of interest to enter long would be this level here. I do not exclude a swipe of 110,200 and a reclaim of this level. That's plan number one. Plan number two, this level does not hold, and we will see price dip into this liquidity void here. And more specifically, an area for me of interest to enter a long position would be this Fibonacci retracement. So the 70.2%, the 76.4%, 78.6%, and ultimately 85.4%. So that's my play. Right now, I think I will enter a short on this bounce because we had, let me see. Does it make sense to enter short at the moment? We've got some room still on the RSI 38. The candle that is about to close in 19 seconds doesn't have any juice in terms of volume. There was a lot of exchange on the previous candle. So perhaps this quarter of a range. So the way I build my range is I have the extremities, the lower one and the higher one. Then I have the middle points, and each section is divided in two. Yeah? Right now, it seems that this level is providing some reaction and generating some reaction. So perhaps we have a bit of a pullback of the price action, perhaps towards somewhere there, this level, towards the midpoint of the range. Yeah, so I'm not entering short just yet. We'll keep an eye on the price action. Less than 15 minutes later, price is moving towards a former support area, the one I highlighted just earlier. If I look at the volume is decreasing on the way up. So that is a good sign if you are looking at entering shorts in the near future. Yeah, it simply tells me, as always, that while there was a ton of interest on this particular candle relative to the previous candles, the previous volume bars, the way up that we are creeping does not generate that much interest either from buyers or from sellers. Yeah. So perhaps if price reach this level here at 110,912, we'll see a bit more traction. Now this decreasing volume and price marching up can keep on continuing. Yeah, we can have price creep a lot higher with lesser and lesser volume. So really it's going to be key to react accordingly if we see a change of behavior, a change of pattern as price gets closer to this level. Yeah, but for now, no trade, but short is getting ready. All right, another 10 to 15 minutes later, price has reached very close to the horizontal level that was a former support, and now price is going in the other direction. There is still not so much volume even on the way down, so perhaps I may just enter a quarter of a contract at the moment. Right now, the stop loss, I will put it far away above these two highs of the candles. $108 is the risk on this position, but I think I will be building a position towards one contract. Right now I have a quarter of a contract, so I will adjust the stop as I go. Okay. All right. So as part of the strategy of building a position, a short position, I will place a stop sell order under the low of this candle, 1 minute 23. Yes. All right. Right about there. Another quarter of a contract. And if this one gets taken, I might lower my stop. So for now, no change to the position. I am attempting, my plan is to build a position towards one full contract and start to take some profit as we reach this level, the bottom of this range. The second order for a quarter of a contract was just triggered, so now the position is half a contract at 110,714. The risk associated to this position strategy is $231. It's a little bit over what I'm usually allowing positions to be. So I will decrease it, even though it's not a strategic place. I will decrease it a bit. Ideally, I would like to have it above this level, but I don't have an indication yet that this was the only underside retest of this horizontal level, and now the move is going to go lower. It's very possible that we have some waddling a little bit, and if that's the case, then if there is some waddling, I will leave the stop over there and I will be very quick on exiting the position if we break above this horizontal level with conviction and with volume. For now, it looks good. It's part of my plan. All right, just a side note, the current candle is quite telling. For me, this is a sign good enough that the second underside retest of this horizontal level is a failure. And so it favors the odd of a continuation down towards ideally the bottom of the range at 110,200. I wanted initially to build up a full contract position. I got taken by surprise by this candle, so I think I will leave the position at half of a contract until the low of the range. But what I will do right away is lower my stop in this position, and so the loss is now officially $85. So if we have a reversal and a squeeze to the upside, I'm gonna be in a loss of $85 on this position. But the way the candle is being built, there is still 1 minute and 14 seconds to the candle. It looks good. It looks good. I'd like to have this low taken, and this low does not correspond, look left, does not correspond to much. Perhaps this one is going to trigger some acceleration on the tape, on the move. But so far, if the candle looks like that, stays like that until the close, then it's very positive. Perhaps we have another retest of the moving averages, and then I will add another quarter of a contract. But for now, I will leave it like that. All right, so price is moving back up. I like the close of the previous candle, and I like the fact that this candle is actually reaching higher. So I'm going to enter another quarter of a contract to the short side. Total position is a 3/4 of a contract. I think that's going to be it for this particular move, and the risk associated is $107. Now, if I see that the current candle is pushing higher than the high of these two candles, I will favor the odds that I will get stopped out. And once again, I would have placed my stop too high. If I move it, the problem is if I move it, what would be the loss on this current move? 280. Well, that's a bit too much. I might leave it here for now. Okay, it's part of the game, but so far it looks good. Okay, so we have some movement in the price action, so it's going in the right direction. And the second attempt was really a failure or it was a successful underside retest of this area here. So it's not exactly a level, it's more of an area. Let me highlight it. Sometimes level function as a single threshold, sometimes it's more of an area. So this area was declared a resistance for now. Now price is moving in the right direction. I am currently at 3/4 of a contract. The goal was 1 contract. I think I will leave it like that. I'd like to see the current reaction when we break this low. We're not too far from it, so perhaps now we have another push towards the moving averages. If that's the case, then I will add a quarter of a contract to have a full contract position on the short side, and I will definitely lower my stop into the middle of this green area. Now, as far as a target to the downside, so I have the low of the range, the 5-minute range that I've established since the beginning of the trading session. And the low of this range actually correspond, if you look on the 4-hour, I'll put my mouse right at this level on the 5 minutes, 110,203. And if you look to the left on the 4-hour chart, it corresponds to the 12 period moving averages on the 4-hour chart. So that could be an area actually where to exit partially the position, depending on how it reacts. Either entirely exiting the position or partially. Yeah, but for now it looks good. As I said, I will be adding a quarter of a contract should this candle or the next candle actually gets back into the moving averages on the 5 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do right away in for a full contract position. And as I said, I will lower my stop. So now the position is 1 full contract at 110,716, and the loss associated is 186 at 110,910. So now I expect price to keep on grinding lower. All right, looks like price is going in the other direction. So I'm about to get stopped out. The loss would be 186. Let's see how this one reacts. I'm not moving my stop. I'm wrong. That's fine. So there was the low here was taken, and since then it's 15 minutes of upward movement towards this former support area, apparently turned resistance. So let's see how we do right here. All right, so the position was stopped out. The loss is $186 for this particular trade. Right now, I'm not looking at shorting again because we have an attempted reversal that appears to be successful on the 5 minute. Let's see how this particular candle closes. But if I look on the 10 minute, price is attempted it to close back above the moving averages. So we might have another run higher, move down, run higher, perhaps move down. So we'll see. For now, no trade. Somewhat an hour later, I'm resuming recording because price has made its move past this former support that was turn resistance and is now apparently support again, untested on the way down. But the way I look at it, I look at those moving averages and price is currently testing that moving average on the 5 minutes. So that's the 12 period moving average of the 5-minute chart. The 10-minute is doing what it has done before, meaning it went above the 12 periods on the 10-minute, then stalled and resumed. So is it going to do the same here? It's above the 12 period on the 10-minute. Is it going to stall and resume downtrend? We don't know yet. Knowing that this liquidity was tapped a little bit, this liquidity voids, there was a big order relative to the previous candle on the aggressive sell side that was positioned on this candle. And now price is attempting to push lower, but is being prevented from doing so. These 2 weeks tells me that it's preventing from doing so. I'm tempted to look at a long position. The issue I have at the moment is I have no clear level where to put a stop. Ideally, I would put it lower than that, but that would force me to take a very, very, very smaller position than usual. So I'm going to watch those candles and I'm going to enter on a long on a break above the high of the previous candle. Yeah, and I would put a stop perhaps under the low of the candle that was broken. Yeah, so that's my play for the moment. As far as the target, we could consider that this mid-range is going to act as support. That's where the moving averages are. And we could aim for ideally the top of the range. Now the 4-hour candle, previous one closed quite nicely as price was going lower towards the moving average. We had buyback happening and we closed above the moving average. So that's not enough for me to take a long position just by the close of this 4-hour candle, because 4-hour is a long time when you try to build up a position and a lot can happen within 4 hours. But that's the play for now. So I'm going to watch the configuration of those candle, and as soon as we break above the high of the previous candle, I'm going to enter a long position for a quarter of a contract. I will actually position the order on a buy stop right now for a quarter of a contract on the high of this previous 5-minute candle. All right, I'll be lowering my buy stop order to the high of the previous bullish candle on the 5-minute. It looks like an attempt at a reversal. The volume is not there. The moving average is providing some support for the moment. So let's see if it turns out to be a pullback into an uptrend. Somewhat 20 minutes later, the position has been triggered. The entry I made on the buy stop order was triggered at $111,019. It's only for a quarter of a contract. I would like to play along if I see some momentum building up, as apparently price has found support around the moving averages. All right, some 15 minutes later or 10 minutes later, price has dipped into the resistance area. I mean, the support area that was holding price before it broke through, that was turned resistance twice, broken through again. And now it seems that price has found support. So I'm going to add another quarter of a contract on this particular trade. I'm in for half of a contract in total, and I'm going to lower my stop, actually position my stop, because I was going without a stop for the moment. The risk on this particular trade, I'm going to put it just below. The risk on this trade is $88, and potential target, I'll aim for the high of this position, is 223 and some change. So that's the play for now. It looks like this was a reversal area, and now price may be going much higher within this range. That's the thing. Depending on how price moves towards, and if it does move towards this high at 111,484, I may consider not take profits, but actually take as a profit area at the top of the range. Okay, but we're not there yet. I'm not gonna leave the profit on. It's just for visual information. But right now the position is in profit, $54. This candle looks nice. There is a bit more volume than all the candles that occurred on the way down, so that's positive. Let's see how we close. There is nothing to say on the 10-minute. Yeah, the 10-minute found apparently some support also on the moving averages, and the 4-hour, nothing to say yet on the 4-hour. That's a nice candle. I was looking earlier, so currently it is 11 a.m. and 18 minutes. I was looking at the calendar for today, and we have at 4 p.m. I won't be in front of the computer at 4 p.m. We have the job opening, the JOLTS reports. So that might cause some volatility for the market. So let's keep watching what the price is doing. A little over 40 minutes later, price has finally broken through this 111,279. I am not taking any action on the position, nor am I moving my stop. I will leave it like that. I just needed to make an update. Currently, the position is for half a contract is $107 in profit with a risk associated of $88. I'm still looking forward to price if it reaches this level to see how the tape reacts. Right now, we are on the third quarter of this 5-minute range established since since the morning. Are we going to have the same behavior here as we had earlier this morning? Perhaps. Let's see. I will be watching the tape to identify any potential areas where aggressive sellers would be showing up. Right now, they're not there. They're not showing up, and the volume is not indicating that aggressive sellers are eager to go short. All right, it's been about 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes. Price has broken through this most recent high at 111,484, and during the breakout, candle is not finished, but during the breakout, there was no significant stops that were taken. So my guess is that we may actually aim for this level. I will aim for this level right here, even though it's possible that we have a little pullback towards the moving averages. If that occurs, depending on the nature of the pullback, I may add another quarter of a contract and move my stop higher. To which level, I don't know yet, but that's the play I will be going for. But right now the position is in profit, $186. The risk associated to it is still $88. A little over 15 minutes have passed, I think 20 more precisely, and price is making its way towards the high range of the boundary, and we can see that we have some aggressive buying. So that means that some passive selling was proposing 27 contract and some change, which was absorbed, and now price is pushing higher. The profit is $322. The risk is still 88. I am considering the option of moving the stop into profit. I said earlier that I would be taking some profit, either partially or completely closing the position as we approach this, but now I see that aggressive buyers are absorbing the passive supply. There is a possibility that we break through this level and get to tap into the liquidity. On the 4-hour, that would correspond to a former support area that was violated left and right, I think a week ago. So I'm not touching anything on the position, and I will entertain the idea of not taking profit depending on how price action and the tape react when the price gets to this level. So it's 111,782 on this Binance chart. The current move in the Bitcoin price action for the last 25-30 minutes is giving me vibes that we may have potentially make a top here for now. And now I am considering to close some of the position because we have a new 4-hour candle. The previous 2 candles, there was a support identified, and we had a candle that broke through a new high, but not entirely getting past the high at 111,782. So I'm considering taking some partial profit. I will close half of the position here. So 258, 253, and I take half of the position out. So 253 is 126 on this trade in the books. I will keep an eye on the position. All right, price action is apparently willing to go push towards the high boundary of the range, which is good for me. I'm still on a quarter of a contract as a position. I was looking at adding another quarter right about this one on that particular candle and then move the stop higher, but I decided to leave it as is. I am not clear. The price action is positive, the volume is not. The volume is not positive. Now we're making new highs on the price, and I can see that the RSI on the 5 minutes is not making a new high. The candle is not finished. This is no serious indication, but it's probably a sign that we are again gonna stall out at this level unless we break through at the moment. So I'm gonna keep watching the tape to see how buyers and sellers react as price is approaching this level. Are we gonna break through? We go tap the liquidity, 24. That's good. I'm exiting my position. So $204 added to the books for today. If I look at the time, it's 2:38 right now in Europe, and that's perfect good time for me to close the trading activity for today because I'm gonna have to run outside of the house for the rest of the afternoon. But it was a good morning. I lost 186, I think, on the short this morning, and now I am 250, I think, positive. So it's a small gain for today, but a gain is still a gain. So ended up the day profitable. So thanks a lot for watching, and depending on the market activity tomorrow, I'll be talking to you all soon. You take care. Bye-bye.